welcome to this event where we will talk how we in FlixBus build an accessible app. What was our journey and our main key takeaways. But first, I still would like to introduce myself. I still would like to almost spoil this page, but yeah. So hello, my name is Maria or Masha, it's the same name. I see a lot of Slavic people here, but also a lot of my colleagues, they were surprised who is Maria, because I'm on the Masha. So yeah, I have been living in Berlin for almost 4 or 3 years. I didn't remember. But yeah, I remember definitely that I'm originally from Odessa, Ukraine. So I have been working as designer for 7 years. And I am such dinosaurs that I started my work when everyone was using Photoshop. I'm such dinosaur. Yeah. And Figma was just some, fancy startup. No one believes in it. No one understands it. Usually Figma was used just because people don't have money for MacBook for Sketch. So I'm kind of old in this field. Also, I'm organizing of UI/UX branches for Ukrainians. So in Berlin, once per month, we are like getting together, gossiping, complaining about everything. Kind of, I really like our cozy community, and I hope we still keeping up with. I am small UX blogger, so maybe some of you please send to the chat who is following me in Telegram. I'm kind of proud, so it's only 200 people, but I'm kind of proud of it. Also, I'm mentor projector, so you can book a session with me. And I'm crazy cat lady, but sadly not because I have an enormous number of cat, only one, but he's kind of crazy. I need to walk him every day on the leash, or he would definitely kill me. I never tried to break this rule. And please write in the chat. I would like to know who is here. Please share who are you, where are you from, what is your occupation, and what your expectation of this meeting. Oh yeah, and I just can't show. So, well, yes, I will show you. Oh. Yeah. Oh no, I can see the chat. No, I want to see the chat. How to do? Oh no, I see the chat. So please feel free to share in the chat where you're from, where do you work. It's really interesting for me to know. Okay. Hello, Andrei. Sama. Oh, hi, Nata from Odessa. Beginner in UX UI. Cool. Kyiv, cool. Kyiv, UI designer. Nice. Oh, Natalia, hello. I have one more colleague here. I need to say hello. Hi, Natalia. Oh, hi, Anna. Also Odessa. iOS development. Cool. Kyiv, product designer in Genesis. Nice to meet you. Oh my God, so many. Yes, Nina, hi guys. I'm from Warsaw, but I've been living in Budapest. Oh, Budapest is a super beautiful city. Regrets. And Lviv, web designer. Hello. So I see that here's like a lot. Oh, Hassan, my colleague Hassan is iOS developer. Yeah, product designer. I see that we have a lot of different people. So I was expecting only product designer. Of course, it's the most popular category, but still happy to see you all of this here. But before we start, I would like to ask you, what do you imagine when you hear Flix? Just drop in the chat first your thoughts. Buses. Okay, Nina. I think most of you imagine something like this. A huge green bus, which you can see around the Europe in every city. You would be right. It's right answer, but the truth is, we also have trains. Who is from Germany who tried our trains? So yeah. But the main idea behind it, what I wanted to tell you is that actually FlixBus, it's a global company. It's like super huge company. So we are operating in 41 countries on 4 continents. We have 5,000 destinations, 60 million passengers, and 15 Flix trains. It's still way much smaller than buses, but still trains are cool. And all of this, hey, go to the next slide. So all of this wasn't be possible without our tech department. So we have a huge tech department which is working on a lot of different products, which is for B2C, business to customers, where I'm working. So I'm main designer in iOS team. But also we have B2B products, so products which are working, which are helping our workers to set up prices, set up all of this navigation and else. So it's super large company. And you're like looking on these pictures and thinking why I added some Shutterstock photos. No, it's actually our photos. That is my colleagues from Munich office. So yeah, we are so professional tech company. But let's move to our topic of the presentation. Who have ever no, who knows what R11 means? Who knows? Please write in the chat. Ally. Good. Okay. Ally is a really good answer. Okay. ML processors is also a good idea. Figma, yeah, it's actually also a Figma plugin, but my husband spoiled everything again. So yeah, I11Y means accessibility. So that is a short abbreviation of accessibility. So how it's working, so that is first noun, in between 11 nouns, and then the last noun. Yeah, so during the preparation for this presentation, I checked a lot of different resources. I watched a lot of lectures, and what I found out is that everywhere people like saying that right now is 15% people have some significant disabilities, but actually recently World Health Organization shared that it's increased to 16%. So it's kind of sad that every year this number is increasing. And it means that 1 of 6 of us have some disabilities, and that is only permanent disabilities. It doesn't include people with temporary disabilities or situational. And we as designers, as product managers, we know that it's huge amount of people. We cannot lose such amount of people, but I think still a lot of us dealing like how can we push to our organization to be more accessible. And actually it's we got help from legal. So right now, I think a couple of years ago, Europe pushed European Accessibility Act. So right now, all of the digital products should be accessible. So they don't have like digital requirements, what exactly should be in digital product to be accessible. So they're like, yeah, you can be super innovation and feel free to do whatever you want. So flexibility, but still people should be able to buy, to do anything on your website without any help or with help voiceover. And actually something similar is working on US market for a long time. So on the right side, you can see a lot of popular different companies which were sued and the amount of money. So for example, Target for 6 million. I was kind of surprised that Beyonce's site, which is just website, fancy, glamorous website, they were sued also for not being accessible. So if you're working, for example, not on product, but on but in digital company, I forgot how it's called. So when you're working just temporary on some website, it's still really necessary to work on accessibility, especially for US and European market. Or if you want to sell your product for European or American market, it's important to be accessible. But let's move to how we work with accessibility. And let's start how it started. So in FlixBus, one of our values is that we want to provide accessible travels around the world. And for a long time, we have in our roadmap topic about accessibility, but it was hard to prioritize until the recent law, European Pact, Accessibility Act. So how it started from legal, who said we must make our product accessible. And as everything, it started from design team. So we as designers, we were like, where should we start? What should we do? And we started from knowledge base. I think accessibility topic is super huge, and it's really super deep. So here's like 2 courses on the left side, that is which my colleagues take, that is accessibility, how to design for all from by Interaction Design Foundation, and it's included in subscription in English language. But I took course, free course from Trajectory Institute, Inclusive Design, and but it's available only in Ukrainian language, but it still was really cool. I also added some additional resources which you can check. And so we took all of these courses, we had some background, and we were like, yes, we need to do this, but it was still not clear for us where should we start. And one day, one developer colleague came to me and he said, "Hey, Mash, we have Apple Accessibility Inspector. Let's try it." So what does it mean? What is included in Apple Accessibility Inspector? So it's making screenshot of the apps and writing all of the problems which you have with the app. So for example, here's, if it's super long, huge page of checkout, for example, here's checkout, so it should be partially taking each part of the page. Yeah, so we took all of this screenshot, we ran through Accessibility Inspector, and we got some insights. So our first accessibility report was look like this. And so most frequent problems which we experienced, it was color contrast. It's quite, it wasn't a surprise for us. For a long time, we have heard during all of this research that it was hard for people to read white on green. But it was really interesting to find out that actually we have also problem with gray color. So our gray color also doesn't pass color contrast test. We didn't support dynamic text when you can just set up your phone with increased fonts. And some elements had to hit area too small, missing voiceover labels. And yeah, so at least we had some checklist, what we can do, what we can improve. We start working on it. At one day, our POs, one of our POs, she had a brilliant idea. Why don't we, it's so important for topic, why don't we hire a professional company? And another PO supported, yeah, let's hire another company. So we got our second accessibility report by a professional company, and they found out 81 problems. And here you can see that there's actually not so many serious problems. Most of them were moderated. And yeah, so most frequent problems were still, they were all about voiceover, labels, focus, and statuses of the elements. So when people select or deselect something via checkbox or toggles, it should be announced via voiceover. And also those companies, they had a lot of people with disabilities, and these people, they recommended for us, don't use accordion elements and tooltip they're super complicated to make accessible via voiceover. Actually, during the last in the last iOS 17 tooltip are available. They're called TipKit, so they finally are available. But yeah, still it's better not to use it. Preferring using iOS native elements because they are more accessible, but we will talk about it later, and implement dark mode. So yeah, we worked on it. We implemented all of the changes, and I think a couple months later, FlixBus joined forces with Greyhound. Have anyone heard about Greyhound? Do you know what it is? Because when I heard, I didn't know, but now every time when I'm watching some movies, yeah, it's popular American company. It's kind of crazy that is buses company thinks, and yeah, so it's kind of crazy. But right now I'm watching a lot of American TV series and movies, and they're everywhere. If someone is traveling by bus in movie, it's definitely would be Greyhound because they're so iconic. So yeah, FlixBus and Greyhound, they joined forces, and we inherited their tool for checking accessibility. And how do you think it went? Do you have any suggestions? So, because previously we like, yeah, we work on everything we implemented, we changed all of the problems, so it should be fine. How do you think? Mm. Oh, okay, okay, I'll press the next. So, um, our third accessibility report find out 133 problems. And maybe you are like, why? Is it previous company like didn't do their work or what? But the truth behind it is that between these two accessibility report, it was a huge amount of time. We worked on new features. We implement a lot of new features, but we didn't make them accessible. And it was one of our problems with this. So we decided to have workshop. So we defined our accessibility process. So each of team members from each position, we defined what we do, what we should do. For example, developer should ask for accessibility labels if they don't have. PO should create documentation, and QR should add accessibility criteria to the ticket. And how I work as designer, which process do I have? So first, for each new feature, I have checklist, which I'm checking before I'm transferring design to developer. So as you can see, every time I'm checking that all of the colors are from design system, but also I'm still additionally checking all of the frames via Figma plugins. So I can recommend two Figma plugins. First, Figma plugin Color Contrast Checker. It's good for fonts, and I think it's working only with fonts. And the second plugin, Stark Accessibility Tool, it could check accessibility of the icons and else element, checkbox and else elements. But I think for the free version, it is kind of I think they have like only 10s per month you can use. So, but still, if you want to check any icons, highly recommend. And most interesting part is that shows the state of an item in the vase other than just color. So for example, you want to show that is cheapest trip. You shouldn't show it only in the color. You should also add label cheapest. Or you want to show that bus is delayed, you should show it not only by color, like some red color. You should also check it by the label, icon, and else. Yeah, and voiceover labels, it's kind of, so first I'm trying to check, so it's my responsibility to add voiceover labels. So first I'm just checking what our previous products used. Then I check global products. I highly recommend to check this because it's usually super interesting to use Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter with their voiceover and see how their elements, similar elements, working out. In summer, I used a lot Chat GPT, helping me to write all of these voiceover labels, but I don't know what happened. I feel like people from this Chat GPT, they were not people from Chat GPT. So I think they just people were freaking out, and Chat GPT became a little bit not so smart as as it was. So right now, Chat GPT using it's like 50-50%. And the next, what I wanted to share is it is about problems with iOS native elements. So if you are using it, what should you expect? So we experience a lot of problems with color contrast for native calendar. As you can see, and if you worked with this previously, so you know, you can define only one color, and this one background color you cannot change. So it's predefined by iOS. And it was really complicated to find out which one could pass color contrast test without any changes. Second element, which we experience a lot of problems, it's toggles, but I think it's just because all of the companies are checking that is white on green, and they're not taking into account that here's also shadow. And implementation of dark theme, I think it's just we have some issues, and I hope one day we'll finally finish it. But let's move to the most interesting part. So we have heard a lot previously during a lot of our research that white on green, it's complicated to read. And our designer from design system team, he tried a lot of different new variation of the color scheme. You can see here's only 4 options, but I think it was way much more. So how do you think which one of this option won? So we got a lot of different tests, like usability tests, surveys, A/B tests. Which one do you think we are using right now? Mm-hmm. 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 Number 3 is a leader, I see. Number 2 is going closer. Okay, who else? Who is using FlixBus a lot? Number 1. Okay, 3. Okay. I see that no one is cheating. It's cool because the winner is number 4. So right now, this color scheme we are using. Yeah. So how it went? Actually, I wanted to share one story that is during one of the latest design branches. One girl shared like, hey, you need to make all screenshot of your product you're working on frequently. And I was like, I have a lot of screenshots. I have like millions screenshots of them. And then when I was preparing this presentation, I can't find any screenshots specifically of this page just to show how it's changed. So yeah, I applied all of the new colors. It was not so fast and easy as I expected because some pages as tickets, they required more work, more additional changes. We added some new color values because we completely changed the system of the headers. So yeah. Sorry, I'm just reading. I will answer all of the questions later. So yeah, we applied all of the colors, and it was quite a long and yeah. So also you can see that it's a little bit changed grayscale colors, grayscale palette, so it's become also more contrast. And I applied all of these colors to the our app and presented it to my team, and they didn't like it. They were quite harsh on me, and I think for a long time it was one of the worst day in the company. Everything changed. Still love them, yeah. But I was super insecure. I don't know what we're gonna do, because if people who are working, who I'm trusting, they don't like it, how will regular user perceive it? And I was like, what we can do? And but I think in the end we decided to keep the same structure, the same colors, as alignment between platform, a little bit taking risk, but still. So we prepared all of the changes specifically about color scheme, and we almost published it to Apple, to App Store. But then our brand team showed up. They were like, what are you doing? We have multi-million dollar brand. Why are you changing it? You're not allowed to change logo colors to black. We don't have it in brand book. So we had a long conversation, several meetings with brand team to align what we're gonna do. So we decided to separate colors, brand colors, and product colors for digital products. So brand color, so for digital, for brand elements like logo, all logos, app icon, splash screen, Apple Store screenshot, we should keep maintaining brand colors. And even if they are not accessible, it's still important for us. And plus, on all of this law, it's only about the digital experience. I saw that we have like a lot of different people from different companies, huge companies, small companies. But yeah, so if you also have multi-million dollar brand, you still can have this problem. And one of the solution could be separate digital from brand. So yeah, we prepared, we change again app icon color, splash screen. We prepared to publishing it for App Store, and for a long time I was expecting that it would be something like right now Trade Republic or Revolut, I don't know, Monobank even, they experience a lot of bad reviews just due to some visual changes, and I was also expecting that we will receive all of this. But the truth is, no. When we changed all of the colors, we got 0 bad reviews for a long time. I think we still don't have any bad reviews about it. I think that is maybe because I'm boring, and everything was tested several times with different researchers. So we were quite sure that people will appreciate and like it, or it would be more seamless for them. But one reviews I wanted to share with you. And if you know Italian language, feel free to read in the original. So I think, yes, in April this year, we got a super nice review from someone in Italy. That person was super happy that they can book their trip via voiceover. And in this moment, we were like, yes, that is definitely something what we were working for. And we were super happy about it. And in the end, I just wanted to share one more story to explain why accessibility is so important. So I have a dad, and he's only one my family member who hasn't had any problems for a long time with vision. But when he turned 60, he got his glasses, so it was complicated for him to read something close, and he usually used his glasses to read something on his phone. But it was okay, all his friends already got them, so it was kind of popular fashion, yeah. So, but last winter, he lost his glasses during the long trip from Odessa to Berlin, and it was really complicated for him due to he can't use his phone properly, and he almost got lost in Wrocław during the transfer from train to bus in midnight without any volunteers. When he finally reached out Berlin, I was like, hey Dad, I can easily help him, and I just increased this dynamic font on his phone. He was super happy that he can finally use all of his favorite apps. And also he's one of my regular user tester of app. So I decided to try to test with him new color scheme. So it was before we published, but I had in my phone. And I observed really interesting thing. I observed that for him, it was almost similar to read something small, but with high color contrast as something super increasing. So our previous ticket, we had a lot of gray on gray, green on green, even orange on orange. And even with increased super huge font, it was super complicated for him to read. Better than previous, but still. And in this moment, I realized one thing a lot, actually, my 3 ideas which I wanted to share with you, that is, as you can see, accessibility is not a final stop, it's a destination, it's part of nowadays process, and it just, we need to integrate accessibility on each stage of our development. Accessibility is not only about some, how people like to say, a small amount of people, or say just percentage. No, accessibility makes products for everyone. Feature which help people with permanent disabilities, could help people with temporary disability or situationally. And we also need to keep in mind people who are relatives and friends. So Masha in the world shouldn't worry about her dad could be lost on Wrocław. Yeah. And one more idea which I wanted to share is that accessibility is investment in our future. Even if we right now don't have any problems with vision, else everything could be changed. Sadly, not sadly, life. Yeah, so if right now we as IT community can set up all of this process and integrate accessibility as main process to our work, it could be beneficial for all of us in 40, 60, 50 years. And yeah, I think that's mainly all what I wanted to share. So let's have a coffee. Let's have, yeah. So thanks everyone. And let's go to the chat because I closed it accidentally. Our girls, you can help me with questions.
Yeah, sure. Masha, could you turn off, please, your screen so we can see you?
Okay, give me a second. Sure. Yeah.
Thank you so much for your speech, for your knowledge sharing. How do you feel?
A little bit nervous because I usually it's really complicated because I see only one face, and I don't know how do you feel about it.
Yeah. Now you have a chance to see everyone. Maybe someone would like to switch on the camera. Oh, I see some people. Guys, how do you feel?
Yes.
Yeah, you can click tap your reactions. So I think we can jump to the Q&A. Thank you, Masha, so much for sharing your experience. I think some of the questions you already covered during your speech, but let's move with all the questions. And if it was covered, we will just jump to another one. So the question from Rita: how have you measured the success of these changes when you're talking about implementation, some edits in the FlixBus app?
Thank you, Rita, for the question. Let me think and remember. So first, that is, of course, how we are covering all of the accessibility. So we tried to cover 100, all of the issues, and it was our, when we achieved it, it was success, I think. If you are asking specifically about some research was which were done for colors. It was actually super interesting. I didn't take part in it. I just read the report, and mainly people were it mainly were about people feedback. Yeah.
So another question goes from Victor. Have you tried to find colors which will be acceptable for most users, or the one which will work with native iOS color filter accessibility feature?
Oh, honestly, it's just like by hands checking all of the colors. Maybe I'm not sure. It wasn't my part of the choosing new colors wasn't my part, but it was maybe it's possible to find already some color schemes. But I highly recommend if you're starting some new project, don't use green color. It's really complicated to make them accessible. Use blue. Highly recommend. Yeah.
Okay. So another goes from also Victor. Is there some common used guide for accessibility rules?
I added some links with all of this, but I think the main problem is that it's no one only one defined accessibility checklist anything, because for some different countries could be a little bit different. And right now, European Accessibility Act, it's like super flexible. People just be able to use your product. So our legal department wasn't even sure. So people who were responsible for accessibility wasn't even 100% sure how should we cover all of this color contrast. So I think I see a good links, but I also prefer short. So yeah, VCAG guidelines is definitely something to start with.
Thank you, Masha. Question from Alex. How about dynamic type in iOS? Do you iOS? Do you adopt your app with it?
Yeah, I called dynamic type dead mode after all of the story. So it was quite complicated to adapt, and I think in one point we just give up a good picture. We just check if it's like if all of the information is available, because sometimes it's just like something is being cut. So yeah, it's the most important part for us. Just all of the information is shown. Be mentally prepared that it will not look like on your Figma design.
Thanks. I think it's all clear here. Question from Victoria. When should you add A11 to your product, especially if the product already exists and features always come first? How? Yeah, let's start with this part and then move on.
Okay, thanks, Victoria. So as soon as possible, it's better to start working. And I know all of this. I'm also usually focus on some implementation new feature, and I just highly recommend try integrating new feature, try to integrate all of this accessibility. It was super helpful for me to have this checklist before I'm giving anything to developer. If your company is using roadmap planning, you can pitch to your roadmap accessibility. And also what I wanted to share is that accessibility is something important, not only for product, digital product. If it's just some website, as Beyonce has one, she also was recently sued just for a beautiful website, but it wasn't accessible. Or if you have B2B product, which is you think, okay, no, we will not have any problems because they're not our target audience. I can share gossip that one of my, during one branch, one designer shared that they had problems with one of their sales can't sell their product to a company just because they don't have all of this accessibility, and company were like, we don't want to be sued also. So their tool were made in Middle East, so they shouldn't be covered by all of these accessibility tools, but all of the European stakeholders asked them to have it. So they tried to have it.
In the second part of the question, how to improve accessibility without starting our whole projects from scratch?
Oh, try to run some accessibility inspector and see where your problem, set up some checklists, see some overview, what you should do, how it's your voiceover coverage is doing.
What are some legal A11Y requirements for modern UI?
Legal requirements I shared only about European Accessibility Act, because for American legal, it's super complicated to find only one act, and usually in different states it could be a little bit different. So you can start from European Accessibility Act.
Okay. We have pretty much questions from Victoria. So what to do if the team wants to just add A11Y in the end?
I think, as I shared our experience, it should be just part of the process. It's just like if you're not working on each feature, I think for each feature, it's just like getting lost.
Mm-hmm. And the last question from Victoria, what are typical mistakes when adding A11Y?
Maybe it's not like mistakes, but to be honest, it's really complicated to work on voiceover labels. It's really hard and complicated topics, and I tried to find some good article which can explain it. And when we added all of our voiceover labels, we got second hour accessibility report, and they were like, it should be a little bit different, and they like help us to make them. So I think that is one of the biggest challenges, and yeah.
Thank you. Irina Vasilenko wrote that, thank you for the presentation. It was very inspiring, insightful, great to know your process and challenges. And also we have another question from Pawan. What are the main points to have, and why and which typeface has better accessibility?
Oh, actually, it's super interesting question. Thank you, Pawan, because I don't have it now, but for checking accessibility of the font, it exists a special sentence which can help. So give me a second. I have all of my notes from this knowledge base, so you can check something. Sorry. So yeah. You can use this phrase to check how accessible your font which you choose. And I tried it with San Francisco and with Roberta, and it worked quite well. So what is the main requirement? That is that all elements, specifically all of these 3 lines which you can see here, they should be like, people should understand that it's different symbols. Yeah, so highly recommend to use this sentence. Or just millionaire, where you can change all of the symbols. Yeah, and distance between divide, no, it's what is the minimum point to have? I'm not sure that I get minimum points to have, but maybe this sentence could help you.
Okay, thanks. Another question from Pawan. Does accessibility can be based on the distance between the device and eyes?
No, but I know that the color contrast test change on the size of the font. So for huge size font, I think it is 18 size, it's band requirements, and for 16 it's a little bit different, but still you can all of this check automatically on all of these Figma plugins.
Thanks. And I think the last question goes from Alma. Any advice how to promote accessibility in the team and the company?
Share the law, share how many people get sued, even Beyonce. Yeah, and I think after Beyonce, everyone wanna be accessible. Definitely, it should be a trend. But yeah, still you can share like, yeah, I think that's my idea.
Was it the last one? Yep. No, another question from Alina. Do you use any metrics to measure success and what? To that already, but yeah, let's repeat.
Okay, yes, let's repeat. So I think metrics, that is coverage, accessibility coverage. How many problems do we have still? If it's 100%, so our main goal was 100% coverage, and we achieved it. Anything else? Maybe also we're tracking our App Store reviews. If people were complaining previously about green colors or just doing the usability testing, it's also some people providing comments. So yeah, I think that's mainly all. And don't be sued. Also nice metric. Specifically business metric.
Thank you. I think that's all, guys. Please, if you have any other questions, write them in the chat. And yeah, I also want to put one link to our chat. It's Instagram of our design team. Even though we are a consulting company that's specialized mostly on software development, we also do have a pretty big department of designers. It's like separate design department that counts around 54 people already, and there's like Sigma Software Design Cats, where we publish the life of our design cats, our works, project that we are working with. So please follow us.
One more question I see.
What is the main reason? I think so. As I told, we had this topic for a long time. So our one of main values that is accessible tools for everyone. And we were still doing kind of okay. So yeah, but fully accessible with all of this, it's just start more prioritizing after the legal, after the law. Yeah.